I'm on the northern end of the county, and I have with me Dr. D. Haney. And Dr. D. Haney represents District 5. And also I have Miss Victoria Williams, who represents District 4. We have schools that they overlap one another. We're actually having a few technical difficulties right now. Dr. Rump Carter is trying to handle our Facebook Live
I don't think you're talking to anybody,
and some of the others. So I'm going to pass it over to Miss Williams and let her maybe tell you a little something about herself.
I don't think you're talking to anybody. I don't see no attendees. It's just the panelists.
Well, Miss Williams, I believe that we are live. So just tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Miss Williams, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Victoria Williams. I represent District 4, which is like the Forest Park area, North Clayton area. I've been in Georgia about 15 years. I have 3 children that attend Clayton County schools. One is a senior, one is in 5th grade, and the other one graduated in 2015. And I enjoy being on the school board and a member of the PTSA for the schools that my kids attend.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Haney.
Well, good evening, everyone. I am Dr. D. Haney. I do represent District 5, consisting of the Jonesboro, as well as Riverdale, and a little bit of the Morrow areas. I look forward to this chat with you all. I'm just really engaged with my community, serve on several committees, as well as have chaired several boards here in our county that pertain to our children, particularly those who are abused and neglected, and also in different capacities preparing our children, more or less our students, for the SAT, ACT preparation as we maneuver through this COVID situation. I, again, am looking forward to it. I've been in Clayton for years and years and years and years, a native of Atlanta, Georgia, hailing from Southwest Atlanta, and I represent that very proudly, as I see Dr. Simpson as well. So I look forward to just engaging with you all. And again, I just really look forward to being an active part of District 5, trying to relay as much information as I possibly can to keep you all in the loop, as well as the district in itself. So I thank my partners, our chair, our superintendent, as well as the team at the district, as well as our teachers and administration, for supporting me as well as we support each other and continue to be safe.
Thank you, Dr. Haney. Again, I'm Jessie Goree. I represent District 3, and mainly that's the College Park, Riverdale area. My 3 high schools are North Clayton High, Riverdale High, and Drew High School. I've been on the board since 2008. My son is a graduate of North Clayton High School. And even though we say we represent districts, we actually, we are elected by districts, but we actually represent all of the schools within the Clayton County School District. Some of the other notable people that are here that we may, once you ask your questions, we may have to pitch it to them. Of course, we have with us our superintendent, Dr. Morseys J. Beasley. We have with us our deputy superintendent, Dr. Ralph Simpson. I see our area superintendents, Dr. Guiney, Mr. Colbert, Keith Colbert. I see Ms. Sharman Johnson, and I see another deputy superintendent, Dr. Nunez. Also, we have with us Mr. Kemet Thompson, who is works with operations, and he's very important because under him is transportation. And since we are trying to open schools again, that will be very prominent in us transporting students to school. And of course, we have Dr. Ebony Lee with us, who is over the curriculum department. All of those subject areas fall up under her. And Mr. White is with us. He is with our communications department. And I believe that we have a guest here, Mr. Hector Goodress, and I probably have messed up your last name, but I believe he will be the person that will ask us questions. Now, if there are other people here, because you all know that I am really not a Zoom person, I think I have listed most of everyone. If there's someone else that I missed, someone please let me know.
I think you got everybody.
I do see, huh?
I think you got everybody.
Okay, I see that we do have one of our other board members. I guess she's peeping in to see how the mod squad operates on this end. Board member Sabrina Hill that represents District 7.
I'm just here to support you guys.
And she's here to support us tonight. So Dr. Rump Carter.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go ahead and let us tell us how we're going to get this started.
Thank you so much. I'm going to start with BOE with our Board of Education video. The Board of Education have been very active throughout the school year, and some of the events that we have hosted have been the food giveaway, as well as board members have read to students in pre-K for pre-K week, and Read Across Clayton week supported that event. And also board members have toured the schools. And so we have a digital book that will be coming out, and you'll see that posted on our website with all of the different activities that the board members have been participating in. But for now, I would like to show the video from one of our food giveaways.
Ourselves different because our sons.
Well, my name is Chris Favors. I'm a marketing coordinator with the Merit Group Community Care. I'm Dominic Stokes, founder of Community Teen Coalition, and today we're at Forest Park High School, where we're giving out over 1,000 food boxes. The Merit Group, we are one of the 3 healthcare plans that in the state of Georgia that service those who qualify for Medicaid and peach care for kids, and we just out here doing just giving back, giving our time back. And we like partner with the Community Teen Coalition as well, who actually helped us get the truck out here for the community.
Yeah, we're excited. This is, we've been doing it for the past couple of months, and the partnership with the county, with the Merit Group, and as you can see us today, the need, so it's definitely a dire need for the community, and we're just able to, and it's a blessing to be a service, to the community.
My name is Eduardo Gopar, and I think this is important because we want to help our community who are suffering from the pandemic, and I want to help out my community as well.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Bowles, and I represent District 1 on the Clayton County Board of Education. Today is Friday, and we are doing a free food giveaway at Forest Park High School because the need is so great. We've had a constant stream of families and community members coming out since around noon today. As you know, in addition to the pandemic, we've got a lot of folks who are now working or are working from home. And so it's a real honor to be able to give out in partnership with the Merit Group and all of the incredible volunteers today. It's been great giving back.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Jay Moss. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I'm part of the Zeta Mu Nu chapter here in Clayton County and Henry County. Some of the Clayton County board members called us and asked if we can come help with food distribution. So we came out here, just wanted to do some community service and give back to our community.
All right, my name is Ty Nash, and today we out here volunteering, helping the community. We giving away potatoes, fruits, meat.
Hey, my name is Khadija Works. I am the chairman for Clayton Centers, Mental Health, Addictive Disease, and Child Adolescence. Today we are out here having a great time, giving away some much needed food. A lot of people, great show out, great turnout. We've been out here for a few hours.
My name is Victoria Williams, and I represent District 4 of the Clayton County Public School. And we're out here today at Forest Park High School giving out food boxes from 3 to 5 today for the families in need. A lot of families in need right now in this pandemic, so we're out here trying to do our part and give back.
Hello, my name is Dr. Alika Anderson. I am the vice chair on the board, and I represent District 8, where it's great. And I just want to thank everyone for coming out today. This has been a dream of mine, so because I know that our board works hard, but I want everybody to really know how hard our board works. And so one thing that we focus on is making sure that our community eats. And we know that the children are out of school right now, but that's okay. We're going to make sure that we take care of you. We're going to make sure that we take care of everybody in the Clayton County community. So that's why we're here today. We want to make sure that our kids are fed well, that they're still learning, that everything is going well, and that we continue to give to our community. We're a board that works together, and we collaborate with our community, and that's why we're here today. And thank you, everyone, for coming out.
Okay, great. Thank you. Now we will have our question and answer session, and that is the purpose of the chat. We'll do the questions that we received during registration, and we're thankful to have Mr. Hector Goodress here, and he will share the questions, and he'll read 2 questions. And then if there are any audience members that have questions and would like to share them on the live, please just indicate that in the chat. We also have numerous people joining us on Facebook. I do see your comments, and we will also share those comments on Facebook as well. Mr. Mark Christmas, our District 2 representative, is watching live on Facebook. I do see you, and Mr. Benjamin Straker. So if you are on Facebook, please leave a comment, and we'll share those as well. Okay, we may begin. Mr. Goodress, you may introduce yourself and then begin with the first 2 questions. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Hector Gutierrez. I appreciate being here. I'm a Forest Park City Councilman, and I'm going to help you all out today by reading these questions. So the question is for Ms. Jessie Gorey, and it says, I hope the board will consider to switch to all virtual learning the week after spring break. Many schools in Atlanta area had done as precautionary measure. It's for the safety and health of all CCPS staff and students.
Good evening. Thank you for that question. And the answer to that, it would be no, because we haven't had our schools open. So we will be starting our in-person instruction on that date. So at this time, there would be a no unless our team sees that numbers are at a very high level. But since we are just beginning to have face-to-face instruction, and our schools have already put a plan in place for starting with a hybrid schedule, that would just push everything back. As you know, I'm looking at some of the comments that are in the live chat, because I'm also watching it on my phone. And everyone, please know that I'm looking at some of your comments. Some people don't want their children back. You know, we gave you the opportunity to either remain virtual or to come back face to face. We knew that this would be a very hard year for us, and there is no right or wrong answer, because some parents want face to face and some parents don't. So we're trying to give you all the best of both worlds. Thank you for the question.
All right. Well, don't leave us, Ms. Corey, because you have one more for you.
Oh, that's fine.
It says, what are the plans for reopening in August, and when will the new Morrow High School be done?
I believe that the first day of school, Dr. Beasley may have to help me on this. I know it's the first Monday in August. I can't remember if that's the
August 2nd, I believe it is, right?
Okay, it's August the 2nd. And as far as the new Morrow High School, we will not open. It won't open at the
fall of
the school year. So it'll be the next school
fall
year.
Of 2022.
Yes, it's going to be fabulous. We've finally got to go onto the property. We weren't able to do the groundbreaking, but we did participate in the very last steel beam being raised for the frame of the facility, and you all will be greatly impressed once you see the finished product. Thank you.
I am looking at Facebook and the chat, so I will read a question from Facebook. And the question reads, are we considering having virtual after spring break?
I just answered that question. That would be no. That's when we are starting. We haven't started. I'm sorry. We will continue to be virtual and face-to-face. So yes, we will have virtual schooling for the remainder of this year. And we will also consider, we will have virtual beginning the next school year. At some point, we will put out a survey or application for parents that want to continue the virtual model next year.
Okay, great. Our next question, and it's via Facebook as well, says some of the classes are very full. We are having challenges keeping the students placed with CDC social guidance and social distance. How will we work through that?
First of all, I'm not sure how anyone can say that the classes are full. We haven't had any classes yet. We are starting out in a hybrid model, and our families are coming together. So let's say if we had a class that had maybe, I'll say at the max, maybe 30 students, at the way we're starting, our classes probably wouldn't even have that many students. I've spoken to several of the teachers. I've spoken to several of our principals, and there are some classes that are as small as 5 students. I haven't heard of any class that would be over 15 students. So, we are going to utilize the CDC guidelines with the classes this way. We will be able to do the social distancing in the classroom. Now, of course, the number that was first given out by the CDC was 6 feet apart. They are now saying that we could have them 3 feet apart, but we are going to we're going to start out with 6 feet because right now we don't have large classes. I believe the data that was given yesterday, we are about 60% virtual and 40% face-to-face. That means that out of 10 students, 6 will still be at home and the other 4 will be in the classroom. The only problem is, of course, is that it will be simultaneous teaching. So the teacher will be they will be teaching the students within the classroom, and they will be dealing with the children that are at home that are in the virtual model. And so parents, I hope that the ones that are coming back, that they are going to be on their best behavior, and they are going to be very attentive, because this will be very hard for our teachers to deal with both virtual and face-to-face students at the same time. So we're hoping that you all have missed your children being in school, and that you're really appreciative of the work that teachers do on a day-to-day basis, and that you will definitely talk to them about their behavior. But I'm sure that they will be happy to come back in and see their classmates, as there hasn't been any social engagement with their classmates this year. Now I'm going to let the other 2 board members answer questions. I'm sorry.
Yes. Great. So Mr. Goodress, if you can answer your next 2 questions, and then we have a live question from Miss Lamisha White. You will be after Mr. Goodress' next 2 questions to ask your question in person. Thank you.
All right. So my next question is for Miss Dr. Dietrich Haney. How will we keep our children safe upon return to school, and will all students return?
Stated before, and I'm glad to ask the question, as when Ms. Gorey said, all students, we're still in a virtual environment. The students, well, the parents have the choice of having their students return back. And as you know, we'll be on a hybrid schedule. So therefore, we have taken those precautionary measures. Those particular teams have already taken those measures. Now, as I toured the schools, and this might encompass some of the questions that may ask along the way as we go along this meeting, but to ensure the safety of our children, I've toured my schools in my district, such as Mundy's Mill High, Mundy's Mill Middle, as well as Brown Elementary. And so therefore, different grade levels. And so the questions were asked by me, how are we going to make sure that our students are safe? Now, considering that maintenance will be there at all times, I know that's a concern for the sanitizing purposes. There is precautions there. Of course, there would be medical staff there to address the safety needs, as well as the classroom space. They're 6 feet apart. There would not be a crowded section of students in a room. There will always be monitoring, of course, to ensure the safety of our children as well as our staff and all those who are involved with that. And so therefore, again, we are in a virtual environment. Parents have a choice. As Ms. Gorey stated, surveys have been distributed. As mentioned in our board meeting on last night, Dr. Simpson did reiterate the point of the safety. And we know there are so many different apprehensions that people have at this point, which I totally understand. But rest assured that Clayton County is doing their part to ensure that our students and staff are safe. And so precautionary measures as of our transportation, as of our maintenance, sanitizing, and those rooms that are just totally away from anyone who has COVID or reports COVID, it would immediately be addressed.
All right, thank you, Doctor. All right, this question is to Ms. Jessie Gorey as well. It's a few questions all in one. What is the mask wearing policy? How will social distancing be achieved? How often will the classroom and other parts of the school be disinfected? And with that, will you immediately notify parents of a positive cases within the staff or the students of COVID-19?
Okay, those are all great questions, because I know if I were, well, I'm not even going to say if I was sending my chair back, I'm going to speak for myself. I definitely need to be in a room where there are masks. And as you know, they're actually saying to wear 2 masks now, but most definitely there will be a mandate for wearing a mask. If your child comes to the bus stop, before they get on the bus, they will need to have a mask. If they don't have one, our bus drivers will have one for them to get on the bus. I'm just going to try to see if I can get it out in. So when we come on the bus, they should have a mask. We also don't want them sitting next to one another on the bus. They should come on the bus and sit every other seat. I think yesterday we mentioned that with our large buses, there should be no more than about 40 students max. Once they come into the building, we're looking at them, socially distancing, even in coming into the building. And I probably will need a little help. I know that when they're coming in cars, I know that we are also doing temperature checks. I hope we're doing temperature checks when they come into the building.
Yes,
because that's very vital. And so let's see, within the classroom, as I said before, we should maintain the 6-foot distance, social distance, as far as the desks are set in the classroom. Also, to help you out a little bit as well, we have bought desk protectors for our students. So those are plexiglass that will be around them, as well as the teachers. I think I might have missed one of the other questions. I think I might have gotten 2 or 3. There were several other questions. I can't remember the other.
You got most of them, Doctor. One was about the how would you notify the parents?
Sanitizing, yes. Sanitizing the classroom. Yes, our schools will be sanitized. Our custodians will be going around the building in those high touch areas, making sure that they're sanitized. So our teachers in the classroom will make sure that we are continually sanitizing everything, because we are going to make certain that our students have their own devices. If we're in, I would say, like younger classes where they might have crayons or that type of those types of things, they will have their own sets of things because we want to make sure that we keep down any type of contact from someone else. We're really going to do our very best to have your children safe. I think I might have covered everything.
The testing, if someone tests positive.
Oh, okay. If someone tests positive, okay, yes, we will definitely address that. We will be doing contact tracing, and that particular area of the building will be sanitized. We have something called a strike team that comes in and sanitizes all of those situations. Now, that may not necessitate us shutting down the whole school, but definitely we would make certain that whoever would test positive or would be removed from that situation. And then that is something that will come under Dr. Collier. And so what I think I'm gonna do on this one, to give you a little bit more in-depth information, I'm going to pass the ball. Since I'm looking at Dr. Guiney, I think I'm gonna pass it to Dr. Guiney because he probably can give you a little bit more information on what happens if it's a staff member or a teacher or any of the area superintendents, because I also see that Dr. Douglas Hendricks has also joined us. So I'm gonna pass this one to you, Dr. Guiney.
Thank you, Ms. Gorey. And this is if there's a staff member that is test positive, is that the question?
I believe so, but if you can address the staff member, and I'm not sure if, I'll just say staff member and student, how would we handle that?
So we do have notification protocols for the process, but it does begin with our student services division. We do work with our supervising nurses, and they go through the contact tracing process immediately in order to make sure that all parties that may have come in contact with the individual are notified. That begins, if it's a staff member, we notify any staff members who may have come in contact, and we take the appropriate precautions in those cases to inform those people and to have them to quarantine if necessary based upon the extent of the contact. Dr. Collier's team and Dr. Nunez's team handles that piece of it. We do notify parents if there is a case at the school that affects them. We notify parents as well if there's a case that involves students. There is a notification, one level of notification, if you are a parent in the school and there has been a positive case, but your child is not involved and was not in close contact. But there's also a second level of notification if your child happens to have been in close contact with an individual. You'll receive a call from the supervising nurse. They'll take you through the contact tracing process and take you through the appropriate precautions. I think that covers it. There is a notification that parents would receive in writing in those cases as well. And of course, we'll take all appropriate precautions with our staff members as well, because we want to ensure that we are probably even more cautious than we need to be to make sure all of our staff members are protected, along with offering the vaccine. Ms. Johnson or Dr. Collier, if I missed anything, feel free to fill in any blanks.
Your response was perfect, Dr. Guiney. You covered everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And thank you, Ms. Johnson, for responding in the chat. We also have Ms. Lamisha White, and I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, one of our audience members that would like to ask a question. Ms. Lamisha White, you may unmute.
Dr. Beasley answered the question in the chat.
Okay, great. Well, can you say the question for our audience members that are watching on Facebook and other areas?
Yes, I asked, will the students, teachers, and staff be required to be vaccinated to return to school?
Thank you. Dr. Beasley, can you share your response for the others that are watching in the other platforms?
Well, I just want you to know, Dr. Carter, your superintendent is handling YouTube. I am responding, and I'm also looking at these questions here. So I am just engaged. Y'all are working your superintendent today. But yes, I did respond. And let me go to the question to make sure that was Miss Lamisha, right? Let's see, no.
Yes.
Yes, Lamisha. Thank you, Lamisha. I said, will students, teachers, and staff be required to be vaccinated to return to school? We do not require vaccinations, but we are encouraging all staff members to get vaccinated. And we even have our own clinic under the auspices of the Clayton County Board of Health to vaccinate staff. As of, I believe, yesterday, team, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, we vaccinated over 1,100 employees with hundreds more already scheduled to be vaccinated. So our goal is to get it to 100%, but we also know many employees are getting vaccinated in other places as well. So we'll be surveying staff this week, I want to say starting Wednesday evening, to get an idea as to who has been vaccinated. If they've not been vaccinated, who will be planning to get vaccinated, and we'll continue to collect that data. And we're just encouraging, again, all of our staff members to get vaccinated. We'll be also, we're revising our memorandum of understanding with the Clayton County Fire and Emergency Department, and we'll be offering the vaccine after spring break to students and their family members, and also to the family members of our employees.
Thank you so much, Dr. Beasley.
Thank you.
This next question is on Facebook, and Dr. Haney, if you can answer this question.
Dr. Carter, can we have Miss Williams be engaged? She hasn't answered the question yet.
Yes, the next one is for actually that Mr. Goodress is going to answer. Okay. Is for Miss Williams. But anyone can answer, Miss Goree, Miss Williams, or Dr. Haney. This next question or comment is on Facebook, and it said many schools are old and poorly ventilated. And I know that we visited some of the schools. So Ms. Williams, Ms. Goree, Dr. Haney, if you want to talk about when we went on those tours, the ventilation of the schools.
Ms. Williams, I'm gonna let you answer.
You can answer about the ventilation.
Well, I know. Go ahead.
We have our schools. I'm not sure why we have concern about the ventilation. All of our schools have been checked. We were ready to open school at the beginning of the school year. We just didn't because of the numbers. Dr. Beasley, yes, so that would entail filters, all of the type of stuff that we would need for our HVAC system. We have made sure that that has all been handled. Dr. Beasley has also purchased some purifiers that we will be placing in schools, especially in those high areas such as the cafeteria, places like that, which I don't think that we actually would be utilizing, because I do believe that our students will probably be eating in their classroom, because we're trying to keep the contact level down. But we have bought purifiers, and so we're trying to make certain that we have everyone as comfortable as possible. And so I think pretty much that would answer that question. Now, let's see, Mr. Thompson, that might be a question you could answer.
Yes, we've changed all of our filters. We've upgraded the filters. We do preventive maintenance ongoing. We've identified units with the ionization capabilities. So we've been ready. We've been looking at this for almost a year. So when the pandemic came, we didn't go down. We got into our buildings to make sure that they were ready for this day.
Okay, great. And the next question on Facebook is, will the remaining board meetings be in person since children will be returning in person? So Dr. Haney, you want to answer that one, or Ms. Williams?
Yes, they will be in person. We do have a board meeting scheduled at the PAC, considering that we will be up under the social distancing requirements on April 26th when returning from spring break. So moving forward, we will be meeting in person. I mean, that's only fair. I know that's a concern. I saw that it's like numerous times on Facebook chat. So yes, we will be there. And I'll be excited to be back in person, to be amongst my colleagues as well as the team as well.
But I hope you also be virtual while we're in person, right?
Yes,
I'm hoping we'll be virtual and in person so that everybody can still get to.
Right.
Yes, we will be live. The board members we will meet at the PAC. And I want to point out to everyone, so that doesn't mean, let's see, the PAC seats 1,800 if all of the turnstiles are open. But I believe due to COVID, the maximum would be about 200 people. So yes, we will be there live, because we also, as you see in the boardroom, our chairs are very close to one another. So we will be on the stage, and I need my 6 feet because I have been treated for breast cancer. So that's why I have my little turban on. My hair is growing back, and my immune system is compromised. And so I don't, I need my 6 feet. So we will definitely have that. And as you can see, much of our staff is sitting here right now. They will also need their 6 feet. So they'll be spread out in the audience. So we really won't be having many people to come into our meetings. Probably maybe not many at all, but we will still show our board meetings live so that you can see them, and you'll be able to keep into contact with everything that's going on with the Clayton County Board of Education. Dr. Beasley will continue to do his YouTube videos and inform, and we're going to be as informative as we can to our public.
Okay, great. And I see, Ms. Goree, you've answered this question, but someone on Facebook asked about the plexiglass, and will there be enough for students? Would you want to share that with all the platforms?
Yes, I want to let everyone know, because I'm not really sure someone is saying we don't have enough plexiglass. Yes, we have enough plexiglass for our students, and we've ordered enough for our teachers. And to make it clear to everyone, we're right now we're only having our elementary students come back. So we don't have the whole school district coming back in. And as I said, about 60% of the people are not coming. So we have about 40% of our elementary students coming back, and some of our self-contained special needs classrooms. So that will be maybe at the middle and high school. So that's a very small number, but mainly it's our elementary students that are coming back. So we do have those things. We've ordered them. Dr. Beasley called, and we authorized it because we're able to purchase it through our CARES money that came from the federal government.
Okay, great. Mr. Goodress, can you ask the next 2 questions, please?
Yes, ma'am. My friend, Miss Victoria Williams, Forest Park. So this is more of a statement than a question, so feel free to address it however. It says, I just have one thing to say. I am not letting my children come back to school until the virus is under control. I wish to stay virtual. I will not risk their lives for nothing. And it says Ms. Williams.
Okay, well, thanks for that question. Well, that's why we put the survey out for the parents to make a choice whether they want to send their kids back in person or virtual. And next semester, next school year, we will also have the option to do virtual or in person. So just make sure you fill out the survey whether you want to send your child back to school or not.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. And this next one is for you as well. It says, if a teacher is either sent home with high temperature or has to quarantine due to close contact, will they be allowed to teach from home virtually rather than exhausting their sick days, or even having to take a pay deduction due to lack of sick days?
I don't have the information on that. I will let Dr. Beasley or somebody answer that one for you. I'm not sure how the teacher sick days work.
Yeah, if they're expected to be at work in the facilities, if that's where we are, and if they need to take the day, they need to follow the leave policy.
So there would be a no, they will not be teaching virtually.
No,
They would,
if they're face to face, they need to be at the site face to face.
yes.
So if they get COVID at the school, then that's still, Dr. Beasley? If it's an outbreak, maybe like in the class.
Okay, if there's an outbreak in the class, then of course the principal will work with the leadership and the health department to make the appropriate decisions. If we require quarantining, then that's a different scenario. But if individuals are out on their own and they happen to get it and things will happen, they will have to follow the sick leave policy.
Okay, great. And we have another question on Facebook. Says, what is going to happen to Eddie J. White since you are building another school just a few blocks down the street?
Eddie White, I think it's been 2 years ago. It may actually have been 3. It's currently 2 separate schools anyway under one roof. So years ago in our SPLOS, I'm not sure which SPLOS we're in. I'm not sure if we're in 5 or which one are we in? Are we in 5, Dr. Beasley?
This is SPLOS 6. We're in SPLOS 6.
Okay. Actually, in SPLOS 4, we were supposed to build a school down in the southern part of the county, and we hadn't done it. So we have finally, we are in the process of finishing the Michelle Obama STEM Academy, the elementary academy. I may probably have the name wrong, but anyway, Michelle Obama STEM School. That school, the elementary students that are currently at Eddie White will move into the new building. And so Eddie White will be a middle school only, and we will be moving the students from Lovejoy Middle School. So there will be one large middle school. All the students that are currently at Lovejoy Middle will be students at Eddie White Academy. Now, personally, I'm not liking that because that means that they are going to be a dominant force in sports. And on my end of the county, we probably will never end up with another trophy because they will have a dynasty on that end. But Eddie White will be just a middle school. They will be 6th through 8th grade. And then the elementary students will be at Michelle Obama STEM School. And for some people, they, especially I know the people that have the connection with Lovejoy, that may be a little sad for you, but please remember that one of the problems when we built Eddie White Academy in the first place was that there were some people that actually lived next door to Eddie White. And because we never went down there and zoned the school properly, some of the students that should have been at Eddie White anyway ended up having to go to Lovejoy, or they ended up at River's Edge. So finally now the zoning and everything will be correct. So it'll be one large middle school that is at Eddie White.
Okay, great. And so we have another audience member that would like to ask their question live. Miss Brittney Demerit, if you would like to share you can share your question at this time or comment.
Yes. Although Mr. Beasley pretty much touched base with me on my question already, I just wanted a little bit more input. I asked, can there be an exception for visitors to a school if we have, let's say, a special needs student that does need assistance that the school does not offer? For example, my son, he's autistic. He has an ABA therapist who comes to see him on the daily. And it's a big part of his day-to-day to be able to function amongst other students in the right way. I did ask his teacher already if it was possible for her to be able to come visit him in school. But of course they said no due to COVID protocols. I get it, I understand. But I feel like it's important for the progression of our students that they do be able to get that therapy-based needs taken care of on a regular basis if they're going to be face-to-face. And I was just trying to see if you all could be more encouraging with the schools and the principals about at least letting them have that type of visitation for the school, because that's for the best like well-being, the best care for the child and the children in this case.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anyone would like to respond?
I'll let Dr. Beasley respond.
Well, I want to make sure that I heard the question, because I was responding to another parent's question about sending a child to school with ill and with a fever, which you all know what I'm about to say. If you know they're ill and they have a fever, what should they do, everybody?
They shouldn't come to school.
They should
Please
not be.
Please
They should
don't
not be
send-
sending them to school.
Right, don't send sick children to school. We're already in the middle of a pandemic. Please don't.
But if that does occur, the school will isolate the child and, of course, contact the parents and take the necessary steps. Am I correct on that, school leadership? But relative to your question about visiting the school, while we are curbing visitation, there are times that parents have to visit the school. So what we're asking you to do is just schedule that visit with the teacher through the office, so that the school is prepared. They know you're prepared, et cetera. You know the mask requirements, et cetera. Just schedule those visits.
I would like to ask Ms. Demerit if she mentioned that is that a part? Would that be a part of his IEP? It sounds like it's some type of a therapist, is what she mentioned.
Yes,
so if we could get a little bit more clarification.
It's his ABA therapist, which is applied behavioral analysis therapist, who works with him on a daily basis to get him, he's autistic, so to get him understand how to behave, how to interact, things that he can master in class, and how to be a more productive citizen later on in life, pretty much. We do not offer that in the classroom as a school therapy as it is. Yes, he has a speech therapy and occupational therapy, but there's this other therapy that's directly recommended for his autistic diagnosis. So I was trying to see, I already told no, she cannot come to the school to visit him for a few hours, a day. But I was trying to see, is there any way we could encourage that type of visitation, not just me going up there to see him, but for his therapist to be able to come into the classroom and help him for what he needs to be successful in class through the school year.
Well, I don't want to give an answer, because I'm sure that there's something legal that I hadn't considered. So what I would suggest that you do is go to your principal, just like you're asking that question here on this platform. You should be having that conversation with your principal, and then your principal will contact the right departments if he or she is not clear on how to respond. And then we will mobilize the various resources or help them to respond to the question. But you should be having that conversation with your principal if that's a need that you identify your child that would assist with your child.
Okay, great. We have another question from Miss Cindy Banks. Miss Cindy Banks, should be able to share your question in just a second. Okay, I believe she's off the call now, but she said, will there be 2 bus routes in August since seating will be limited?
I answered that one. August is a few months away, so we hadn't even gotten through this semester, so we don't know what's going to happen in August as of yet. But I'm sure that once we decide, that will be clearly communicated to all. Am I right, team?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're still making sure we got bus routes for August, for April 12th. We hadn't even determined bus routes for August as of yet.
Okay, great. Now this question is for Dr. Demerit, and it says, how are they going to keep the school properly sanitized when they have to go to lunch, go to the restroom, change classes, and or ride the bus? And I know you went on a school tour and saw that in action.
Yes, I did. Over at the high school, and Mr. Thompson can elaborate as well with his maintenance team. When I was at Mondays Mill High School, as well as Mondays Mill Middle and Brown. Now, let me just back up with the elementary school. I know some parents did on the chat here on Facebook was asking about cafeteria. Will the children be eating in the cafeteria or in the classrooms? Over at Brown Elementary School, the principal there was very proactive to ensure that safety measures were in place. For instance, in the cafeteria, if that come to that point where a child or the students have to eat in the cafeteria, they are distanced, meaning that it's every other seat, and they will be facing a certain way. So all students will be looking a certain way, where nothing will interfere with as of them contracting this particular disease or whatever we want to call it at this point. So they have that in place. And so if they're in the classroom, again, those measures are in place where they're going to be social distances as well. Now, the sanitizers, they have hand-free sanitizers. They're in place as well. When I was doing the tour, they bought only because the elementary schools are returning. And so they're going to be purchasing more. Mrs. Thompson can get onto that as well, as to ensure the safety of that part too. So that's in place. And so as of the transportation, on the buses is every other seat. And they're going to be sanitizing that. I saw the machines on that and how they're going to be doing that after every route. The bus drivers will be sanitizing those areas, and at the end of the day, that team will sanitize. So all the sanitation is in place as of in the schools. And this goes to another point as I was reading the chat on Facebook about the isolation rooms. Isolation rooms they will not even be so close to the students. They'll be in a particular area based on the school structure of how that school is designed. And so all three schools that I visited have those particular areas. I know Mondays Mill High School is very large, and that is taken care of in an isolated spot. A nurse is right around the corner. So there's constant communication to ensure that. So in regards to that, I believe that everything is in place. And Mr. Thompson, if you can just elaborate a little bit more on that, so that parents can have that reassurance.
Yes, Dr. Haney, and you were spot on. Good description of what we're doing system-wide. As far as the cleaning of the schools, we have the solutions, cleaning solutions that we've provided our custodians. The custodians were trained in depth last October on the new high-touch cleaning techniques. We've written and updated their SOPs. We've partnered with the Clorox company to provide us additional products, solutions for our fogging machines. We have instruments and tools for our drivers, the custodians, the school teachers. Everyone has been trained and in our reopening game plan, ensuring that the schools are kept sanitized, as well as the buses. So it's an ongoing process, and it's all put together with the teachers, custodians, and our bus drivers. So we have a plan in place, and we're confident that the community will be reassured that our schools are sanitized in the proper manner.
Great, thank you so much.
Also, I would like to add to that, as far as we're talking about sanitation, but also even safety-wise, one of the other things that we've also put in place, I believe we're putting in at our water fountains, so that, parents would want their children to drink water. So we're putting in those bottle fillers, so your child can bring their own thermos or bottle and get water, because that would be another area that would be high touch, and something that you would not want your children to be using as a community area, sharing a community area. So that will also be another safety feature that we have in place. Now, I've also spoken to a couple of my principals. You mentioned about being in the cafeteria. There would be a high area of contact. So, pretty much they will be eating in their classrooms. But I've also heard that some of the schools are probably going to maybe allow a class in, maybe just by themselves for that day, so they can at least get in and, be able to sit and have some social interaction with their peers. because I saw some of the comments in here about will we be doing recess, those types of things. I'm sure that any time that we have an opportunity where we can have classes that are outside, we definitely want that for our children. The only problem would be is if it's like I would say, if it's probably a class such as like a language arts class, remember that the teacher is teaching face to face and online. So, that would mean that only those children then would be able to go outside if it's a part of the class activity or within a break or whatever. But, I think we're going to try to do our very best to have school as close as, school can be. It's just, we gotta get our children in the habit of, social distancing, and so that we aren't a germ spreader or anything like that, and so that everyone is safe.
Great, thank you. Ms. Sharma Johnson, can you please share your comment about the video on the website for all of our platforms?
Yes, I just want to encourage all of our parents and stakeholders to view the video, the safety video that is located on our district's website. It gives you a visual of all of the safety protocols that are going to be put in place across the district once we open up our schools. So I would highly recommend that parents see that. It may make you feel a little bit more comfortable about your child coming back to school.
Great, thank you. And Dr. Lee, can you share your comment about the safety game plan on websites?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Each school that has developed a school level safety guideline game plan that outlines their safety measures, and particularly their measures for when students arrive, when they're departing, how they're going to eat breakfast, lunch, whether they are going to the cafeteria. So they're very specific protocols and procedures that are school specific. So we're asking parents to visit their school's website to view those.
Okay, great.
And before you go on, Dr. Rumcarter, since Dr. Lee mentioned lunch, I did see in the comments questions about whether or not once students came back to school, whether we would continue with our feeding program. And yes, we still will do that. So even though you have chosen to have your children remain virtually, we still will deliver meals to those families. So that will continue.
Okay, and so we have so many questions across about at least three different platforms, but it is now almost closing, but I'll close with this last question. I don't believe it was answered, but if so, just let me know. Given present COVID-19 protocols, what is the plan for ensuring that high school seniors have a reasonably normal senior year? That is, does administration anticipate that high school seniors will be able to participate in traditional senior activities?
Well, one of the things that I've been pushing is trying to see whether or not our high schools can have a prom this year. And the board, we have asked I'm sorry, I don't know how that name came out, Dr. Beasley. Dr. Beasley has given each of the schools an amount of money so that we can have those graduation. We're doing outdoor graduations for our seniors. We also have moving on ceremonies for our middle school students. Those are our 8th grade students. And we also have moving on ceremonies for our 5th grade students at the elementary schools. So there is money in the budget for each school to do something for their students. I'm not, at some schools I know they also do something with kindergarten, but I'm not sure this year if that would be inclusive, since our kindergarten students haven't even, they haven't made it in the building yet, but we are looking particularly at those grades. And I know that Miss Williams is actually the proud mother of a senior, and I know that she's planning some things at Forest Park for her son. I know that right now North Clayton High School is looking at doing a prom at the zoo, Atlanta Zoo. My 3 schools are North Clayton, Riverdale, and Drew. I haven't been in touch with Drew. I know that at one time they were trying to do something maybe at the Botanical Garden at Riverdale, but I'm not sure what the plans are. But we are trying our best to have students in venues that, you know, where they would be preferably outside, but trying to allow them to have some activities at the closing. I'll pass it over to you, Ms. Williams.
Yeah, I would say besides the prom, we're trying to plan, if everybody can't go to prom, at least act like you said, outdoor activity, because they're going to have a parade through Forest Park, the seniors, and then meet up at the Star Park and have like some activities or some food, barbecue, something like that. But I wanted to tell the parents also that they have questions about, you know, returning back to school, and I'm getting a lot of emails about campus kids and all kind of stuff. They need to contact the teacher or the principals of their school first. Because believe it or not, board members don't do day-to-day operations. So I don't even know about the campus, you know, if they're having campus kids or not until somebody sends me an email. So your best bet is to contact your principal, assistant principal, teacher, and find information from them. Because I'm getting nasty emails about certain items that we haven't no control over or know anything about. Thank you.
Dr. Haney, do you want to elaborate on that?
I was just gonna say, just what Ms. Williams said, just contact your principals. Let's just go through protocols to ensure that the transitions and all communication is clear. If you have those concerns, so principals, and in turn, their contact whom they need to contact within the leadership team of the district. But if there are other pressing concerns, of course, you can always reach out to us. But as Ms. Williams says, we do not, unfortunately, get involved with the day-to-day operations, but we are involved enough to know to make the decisions that would impact our district, and to make sure, of course, at this point and that's going forward, the safety of our district as well.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Haney. I've seen several questions as well as even submitted during registration. Many of you would like to know who your representative is. I will be responding to the emails to everyone that you can visit the Clayton County Board of Elections, find my elected official, type in your address, and it will give you a list of all of your elected officials, because the board members do share schools. And so to know your particular board member, please visit that, your exact board member, please visit that website or contact me if you need additional information. And also the schools are listed on our Board of Education website. That's how you can stay up to date on events or happenings in the various districts, and our emails are all there as well to contact us. Are there any closing remarks from Dr. Beasley or any of the staff?
Yes. Thank you all. I hope that we answered all the questions and everyone received the clarity and responses that they need. Thank you to our board members. Just one more effort of making sure that our community is informed and engaged. Thank you, staff, for being here and for being patient, responding to all the questions in the chat boxes on YouTube, Facebook, and other places. Just thank you to the team. It's been a team effort. And so thank you, Chair. We appreciate the opportunity, and hopefully our community appreciates this opportunity as well.
Thank you so much. And as Dr. Beasley said, there are questions across our platforms. Please know that we also have another chat scheduled for tomorrow, and then again on Thursday. So we'll have 3 more board members on tomorrow, and then close out on Thursday. The questions that were not answered at this session will be answered at our next session. Thank you so much for joining us.
Before you close out, I keep seeing this question about uniforms.
Okay.
The children are not wearing uniforms to school. Not this year. We're just trying to get school open and trying to have these last about 6 weeks of school face to face to the best of our ability. So don't worry about that. Just please, 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 parents, don't send us sick children. If you know that they're sick, please, we don't want to add any fuel to the fire. We're trying to do like the President of the United States said, let's everybody try to get vaccinated. Let's everybody put those masks on. Let's everybody do social distancing, wash your hands, because we do want to have a holiday with our families. I know some of you all probably haven't seen your families in a year. I know I haven't seen mine, and we're looking forward to that. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. We are hoping that we will have other chats like this. I thank the team so much because we just had a very lengthy board meeting last night, and here everybody is back with us again. We appreciate it. We really needed, the team, because we can't answer all the questions because, as Ms. Williams said, we don't do day-to-day operations, but we do appreciate you parents. Thank you for being with us this year. I know some of you all wanted the schools open. We couldn't do it. Some of you are wondering why are we open them now, but we're trying to, have some semblance of normalcy toward the end. We're trying to do our very best to accommodate everyone. And we just thank each and every one of you for putting your children in our hands. And we do value your children just as we value our very own.
And I'd like to say thanks also to our parents, our constituents out there, as well as our district teams, and special kudos to our transportation as well as our nutrition department, because they have been working since the pandemic. And so I just want to give special shout outs to them and acknowledge them for their work and keeping safe, as well as ensure that our students are fed, as well as transporting that food to them. So again, thank you on behalf of District 5, known as D5, to ensure that we have that for our children. And again, district team, thank you so much for your leadership, Dr. Beasley, and all involved. And thank you to the constituents. We do not take you all for granted. Please refer your questions. I know Ms. Dita Ellis mentioned that her question wasn't answered. If you can submit that to our board coordinator, Dr. Rob Carter, and we will make sure that your question is being addressed. And also be safe this evening and be safe going forward.
Yes. I would like to make a statement. So I'd like to thank the staff, the whole county, for making sure the kids will be safe returning to school. And I would like to, thank them for having the food giveaways on Fridays. I just finished doing a food giveaway today at the high school, where a lot of parents, still in need and still struggling. So I thank everybody, and please be safe during spring break, and don't, keep wearing your mask, washing your hands. It's not over. Even if you're vaccinated, doesn't mean just, go to Miami, hang on the beach. But everybody be safe.
Okay, thank you so much. That is all. Have a wonderful evening, and see you tomorrow again at 6. Those of you that have registered for tonight's session, you'll receive an updated email to join for tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.
Goodbye.